right there. This is going to be our presentation about simple machines. So I want to explain some stuff to you. A simple machine is a machine that makes work easy. It's just what it is. Alright, for right now I'm going to talk about wedges. Wedges are a sloped surface. Wedges are also a type of inclined planes. Your front teeth are wedges, as they bite into food and crush it. Well, why isn't this door gonna stay shut? Let's try to use this wedge. A wedge is a sloped surface that moves. Let's see how this goes. No. Come. Yeah. There we go. As you can see, the wedge stopped the door. And so, this wedge is making my life easier, so that way I can just walk through without having to open the door and make sure it stays open. A lever is a simple machine made up of a bar that pivots. There are first-class levers, second-class levers, and third-class levers. First-class levers, the fulcrum is in the middle. Second-class levers, the input arm is shorter than the output arm. Third-class levers, the input arm is longer than the output arm.
Here, this is an example of a first-class lever, a mic stand. We have our mic here, wired or not wired, but wired or not wired, mic. Gently drop it. So here is the fulcrum right here, which is the pivot point of the whole thing. Then I have input force here and output force here. So my mic stand. Another example of a first-class lever is this seesaw, teeter-totter, whatever you want to call it. So here's the fulcrum right here. Then we have input, output.
So this is a first-class lever. Its fulcrum is in the middle. Input, output. Blink, and this is only a first-class lever if this hammer is pulling out a nail from a board or anything. So in this motion right here, the fulcrum is in the middle, and that's how you know that it's a first-class lever.
So here is the lid right here. I didn't draw the bottle, but there's a small part, whatever. Input right here. Fulcrum, output. This can be used as a first-class lever. Okay, so an example of a second-class lever is this wheelbarrow I randomly had in my house. So it goes input, output, fulcrum. We have the input force, lifting the wheelbarrow. Output force, your load, which is, we'll just say, some dirt. And then we have the fulcrum, your pivot point. Once again, input, output, fulcrum. Input, output, fulcrum.
This is a door handle. It is a second-class lever. It goes fulcrum, output, input. Second-class lever.
So, some examples of out of breath here. Third-class lever, we got a rake right here with the fulcrum, input, output. Or no. Yeah, output, input, fulcrum. Rake your leaves. Another one is a shovel I have. Well, this was a snow shovel, but anyway. We got output, input, fulcrum. Shovel your snow, kids, and you can earn a few dollars. Another example of a second-class lever is this stapler I have. It also goes fulcrum right here, output right where you get the staple, and input. The input and output are very close together, but they can be far apart. But it still has to go fulcrum, output, input, or if it's the opposite, doesn't matter. But anyway, so fulcrum, pivot point, output, where the staple comes out and staples your paper, / papers, and then we have the input where you push it down. Now we'll talk about levers. I have a baby hammer here. I didn't have a full-size one at the moment. And I also have a nail and a piece of wood. So, first of all, you can use a hammer as a third-class lever when you're hammering a nail, for example. And I can't pull it out, and yeah. And now you can use it when you're pulling a nail out. You can use it as a first-class lever. So I can now pull the nail out.
It's a pulley system.
This simple machine is called a pulley. It's a simple machine with a grooved wheel with a cable wrapped around it. So as you can see here, there's the cable. There's also the cable going up, and there's the wheel. I built this out of Legos. And when you pull here, you can see the load goes up. Let it go, it goes down.
Right now, we will be explaining the inclined plane. The inclined plane is a sloped surface. This is an example.
So for examples of screws, I have my door right here, and there is a screw right there and right there. Another example of a screw is these coat hangers right here. Another example of screw is this coat hanger right here. Got a screw here and a screw here. Now let's talk about screws. I have a screw here. A screw is an inclined plane wrapped around the cylinder. Here I also have a nail for comparison. The screw has these like teeth things, while the nail doesn't. This makes the screw a lot stronger. I also have my hammer and my drill, so we can both put them in and see how they do. So I'll just... I don't want to put it all the way, so we'll just leave it there. Then I'll also put my nail in beside it. They don't have to be perfect or even close to perfect. But here's how, so here's the screw, here's the nail, both on the wood plank. This one seems a lot more sturdy just by shaking it. So let's see if I can take this out. Which I can. Let's see if I can take this out. No. So this fix the screw. The screw is really strong. Those teeth help it bite into the wood so that it doesn't come out. But we have our drill here. So there we go. Screw.
Action.
Compound machine is two or more simple machines that work together, like this camera. A mouse is an example of a compound machine. Here you have a mouse is an example of a compound machine. Here the scroll wheel is a wheel and axle, and the buttons are levers. So, oh, what is that? So, this is a compound machine, this battery-powered drill thing. And I can't state all of the simple machines because there are way too many. But here's some of them. Here's a lever right here with the trigger. Here's like some screws and these wheel and axles that move. So there are also some levers right here, these buttons that make you be able to take the battery off, which I won't do. And yeah, that's just some of the simple machines. Also some wheel and axles, the fans in there, and the switches, yeah. I don't really want to watch that.
For what?
So, another compound machine is this mic stand. I use this as an example for a lever, but it's also a compound machine. So, there's like a ton of moving parts you wouldn't think so. So here we have these levers right here, this little part for the mic, these wheel and axles, there's some screws in here, this one, that thingy, lever, yeah, screw thingy, wheel and axle again, and the feet can actually fold like that, and then also have another screw. Yeah, these are like levers with hinges. So, wheel and axle, we have a car right here. This wheel's connected to the axle over there, so yeah. Another example of a wheel and axle is this vacuum wheel. There is the wheel connected to the axle. You probably can't see it, but anyway. So, we'll do MA equals output force. We'll just put out F over input force. We'll just put in F for that as well. So, yeah. So, output force, output force over input force, mechanical advantage. And MA, there is no units. No units. So, to find the mechanical advantage of something, remember output force over input force, no units. That equals MA. So, to find the mechanical advantage of a rake, you'll just do output force over input force. Or the same as dividing that too. Output force divided by input force, the same as output force over input force. For a shovel, you could just do output force divided by input force. Output force over input force. And for a lever, guess what? It's output force over input force, or output force divided by input force. So let's do a problem here. So a carpenter applies 525 newtons to the end of a crowbar. The force exerted on the board is 1,575 newtons. What is the mechanical advantage of the crowbar? So the input force is 525. These are in newtons, by the way. And the output force is 1,575 newtons. So we'll just do MA equals 1,575 newtons over 525 newtons. So there's that. So the mechanical advantage isn't going to be in newtons. So we'll just divide these. And that gives our final answer of 3.